I never imagined I would be that woman, the one who strayed, who crossed boundaries that should never be broken. I always saw myself as a devoted wife, the mother who held everything together. But here I was, standing at a crossroads in my life, staring down a path I never meant to walk. My name is Jenna. I'm 42 years old, married to my high school sweetheart, Mike. We had been together for more than 2 decades and had 2 wonderful teenagers. On the outside, our life seemed perfect. A beautiful home, a stable income, a picture that many envied. But inside, I felt invisible, like a shadow drifting through my own existence. Mike was an incredible father, but over the years, the spark between us faded. He was always preoccupied with work, chasing promotions, while I managed a household and juggled our children's schedules. We barely connected anymore. The nights that once brimmed with laughter and passion had turned into routine dinners and weary conversations about bills and responsibilities. I craved connection, someone to truly see me. Then came Darius, Mike's childhood friend, fresh out of prison and struggling to rebuild his life. He was everything Mike wasn't, rough around the edges, magnetic, and bursting with energy. He had a presence that drew people in, and before I knew it, I was captivated. It felt thrilling, intoxicating. He was broken, yet somehow still so alive. And for the first time in a long while, I felt alive too. At first, it was innocent. Darius would stop by to visit Mike, sharing stories of his time behind bars like they were war tales. They would reminisce, and I would sit at the edge of the couch listening, trying to be part of it. But I felt like an outsider in my own life. I longed to be part of their camaraderie, to feel included, to be noticed. One evening, after Mike had gone to bed, Darius stayed behind to help me with some home repairs. We were alone, and as we worked, I felt something shift between us, a spark igniting in the silence. The air grew heavy with unspoken tension. I was nervous but exhilarated. I felt his gaze linger on me, and when I met his eyes, my heart pounded. "Jenna, you're amazing," he said, his voice laced with sincerity. Those simple words awakened something inside me. I had forgotten what it felt like to be appreciated. As the weeks passed, Darius and I spent more time together. Secret moments in the kitchen when Mike wasn't around, stolen glances that lasted a second too long. I convinced myself it was harmless. Just 2 friends reconnecting, but deep down, I felt the darkness creeping in. Then one fateful night, everything changed. Mike had taken the kids to a school event, leaving Darius and me alone in the house. The tension between us was electric, almost tangible. Every nerve in my body was on high alert. We laughed and joked, but soon the laughter faded into an uneasy silence. "Jenna, I can't pretend anymore," Darius said, his voice low and intense. My heart pounded as I looked into his eyes, searching for a way out. But all I saw was desire, a longing I hadn't felt in years. In a moment of weakness, I leaned closer, and then his lips met mine. The kiss was filled with desperation, with everything I had been missing. I felt alive, but at the same time, a heavy weight settled in my chest, a realization that I had crossed a line I could never uncross. I pulled away, my breath unsteady. "Darius, we can't do this. I'm married." "I know," he murmured, his eyes locked onto mine with that same intensity that made me feel like I was the only woman in the world. "But you're not happy, are you? You deserve more than this." His words echoed in my mind, igniting a war within me. I didn't want to be this woman. I didn't want to hurt Mike or shatter my family. But the thrill of being wanted, of feeling alive again, was overpowering. For weeks, I wrestled with my choices. I told myself it was just one mistake. But my encounters with Darius became more frequent. Each time, I felt myself slipping further, deeper into a web of lies. I tried to push him away, but I craved his touch, his attention. Then one evening, when I finally broke down, I reached out to him, desperate for that rush, that intoxicating feeling of being desired. I met Darius at a bar. My heart pounded with a mix of excitement and guilt. I knew I was playing with fire, but I couldn't resist. "Jenna," he murmured, his voice smooth, almost seductive. "I've missed you." His touch sent shivers down my spine. And for a fleeting moment, I let myself forget. I let go of the guilt, the pain, and the weight of my choices. That night, we surrendered to each other. But in the back of my mind, guilt gnawed at me, a reminder of the life I was betraying. When I returned home, my heart was heavy. Mike was sitting on the couch, his expression a mix of hope and quiet devastation. "Where were you?" he asked softly, his eyes searching for answers. I opened my mouth to speak, but the words refused to come. How could I explain the storm of emotions raging inside me? The lingering taste of Darius's kiss on my lips, a cruel reminder of what I had chosen over the man who had loved me for so many years. "Jenna," Mike pressed, his voice tinged with worry. "You're scaring me." I sank onto the couch beside him, feeling small, exposed. "I don't know how to fix this, Mike," I finally admitted, my voice trembling. "I feel so lost. And I've made mistakes, serious mistakes." He dragged a hand through his hair, exasperation etched into his features. "You've been seeing him, haven't you?" His voice was taut with frustration. "You can't keep running back to him." I nodded slowly, tears brimming in my eyes. "I know," I whispered, "but he makes me feel alive." I thought I could just have a taste of that, a fleeting moment of excitement, to escape all of this. I gestured around us, at the house that now felt more like a cage than a home. "But you don't need him to feel alive, Jenna. You have a life here, a family." Mike's voice cracked with emotion, rising in intensity. "We can work on this. You can come back to me." "Can I?" I asked, bitterness lacing my words. "Can I really, after everything?" We sat in silence, the air thick with unspoken words, the tension between us an oppressive weight. Mike's hardened expression softened, pain reflecting in his eyes. "I want to understand. I want to help you. But you have to let me in." I swallowed hard, my heart aching. I don't even know if I can," I admitted, my voice barely audible. "A part of me is terrified that I've destroyed everything beyond repair. I never wanted to hurt you." His voice dropped to a whisper, barely more than a breath. "I trusted you, Jenna. I thought we were in this together." In that moment, a tidal wave of guilt crashed over me, threatening to pull me under. I had betrayed not just Mike, but everything we had built, every promise we had made. I felt as if I were standing at the edge of a precipice, unsure if I had the strength to step back or if I would plummet into the abyss. "Mike, I can't keep deceiving you," I confessed, my voice trembling. "I care about you, but Darius, he makes me feel seen. You've been so consumed with work, so focused on providing, that I started to feel like I didn't matter." The truth spilled from my lips like a dam bursting, unstoppable and raw. Mike's eyes bore into mine, searching, pleading. "Do you want him, Jenna? Is that it?" I hesitated, the gravity of my choices pressing down on me. "I want to feel loved, Mike. I need to feel like I'm more than just a mother or a wife. I need to live, not just exist." "Then let's find a way to do that together," he said, his voice shaking. "I want you to feel that way, but not with him. Please, Jenna, don't let him take you away from me." The sincerity in his words struck me like a blow. I saw the love we had nurtured, the years of partnership and devotion. It was hard to reconcile that with the damage I had inflicted, but something shifted inside me, a whisper of hope. "I don't want to lose you," I murmured, my voice cracking. "But I don't know how to fix this." "One step at a time," Mike said gently. "I'll make time for us. We'll go out, just the two of us, like we used to. We'll talk, reconnect. You don't have to go through this alone." I wanted to believe him, but doubt twisted in my stomach. Could we truly repair what had been shattered? Could we move past my betrayal? Deep down, I knew I had to try, not just for him, but for us. As days turned into weeks, we began the painstaking process of healing. We went on dates, engaged in honest conversations, and slowly started to understand one another again. It wasn't easy. There were nights filled with tears, moments of anger, and painful admissions. But as we peeled back the layers of resentment and neglect, we uncovered something we had lost. The real us. One evening, we sat in the backyard, bathed in the golden hues of the setting sun. I looked at Mike. Really looked at him. The lines on his face spoke of dedication and sacrifice, but his eyes held both pain and a flicker of hope. I know I messed up, I whispered, but I want to fix this. I want to find my way back to you. He nodded, a ghost of relief passing over his features. We can do this, Jenna. I'm not giving up on us. But in the shadows of my mind, Darius still lingered. I knew that if I truly wanted to rebuild my marriage, I had to sever ties completely. With trembling fingers, I picked up my phone and typed out a message. Darius, we need to talk. I can't see you anymore, I hit send, my heart pounding. It felt like a final farewell. A weight lifted until my phone buzzed with his reply. Are you sure about this? You're really going to choose him over me? His words stung, doubt creeping in like an unwelcome guest. But then I remembered the pain I had caused Mike, the love we still had buried but not gone. I have to. It's not just about me anymore, I set my phone down, my resolve firm. It was time to let go of the past and focus on the future. Mike and I continued rebuilding, rediscovering each other. We cooked together, shared laughter, and even attended couples therapy, learning to navigate the wounds that had driven us apart. One night, as we stood in the kitchen preparing dinner, Mike chuckled, shaking his head. Remember that time we tried making stir-fry and nearly set off the smoke alarm? I laughed, the sound genuine. How could I forget? We were terrible at it. That moment felt healing, a reminder of the love we had buried beneath years of routine and neglect. Mike's walls began to crumble, his warmth returning, and for the first time in a long while, I felt that connection spark to life again. But just as things seemed to stabilize, Darius reached out once more. A simple text, I need to see you. Just once. For closure, My pulse quickened. Part of me wanted to ignore it, to keep moving forward. But another part was curious. Torn between past and present, I hesitated. Finally, I made my decision. I told Mike, I need you to trust me. I said, my voice steady. I have to end this properly. Concern shadowed his features. Are you sure? You know he'll try to manipulate you. I know. But I need to face this. For us. Mike exhaled, nodding reluctantly. Just be careful. The meeting was set at a quiet cafe. When I arrived, Darius was already there, lounging in his seat, that same arrogant smirk on his lips. Jenna, he greeted smoothly. Good to see you. I forced a smile, stiff and unyielding. We need to talk. He leaned in, his gaze searching mine. You could have had everything with me. You felt it too. I shook my head, exhaling sharply. What we had was a mistake. I love my husband. I made a choice, and I need you to respect that. Darius scoffed, frustration flickering across his features. You're lying to yourself. We had something real. No, I said firmly. It wasn't real. It was an escape. But I'm done running. His jaw tightened, but he nodded. Fine, but don't think this is over. I'll always be here. Waiting, I stood, my heart racing, but my conviction unwavering. Goodbye, Darius. Walking away, I felt lighter, finally free. When I returned home, Mike was waiting, his expression tense. How did it go? He asked. I took his hands in mine. It's over. I'm here. With you. Relief washed over his face. I'm proud of you, Jenna. And for the first time in a long time, I felt proud of myself too.